Would you all please join me in a pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Pat, did you take the roll? Okay, the first item on the agenda is public comment. Would anybody care to address the village board tonight? Yes, step forward, please. Yes.
Jewel Grant, I hate to be here all the time. I was hoping that by now the communication between the South Sangamon Water Commission and Chatham would be improved. I would like to know if anybody in the board is getting updates from our commissioner, and if so, weekly or monthly. Is there a better way to communicate those updates with us? I think we've asked, multiple people have asked to have him come to a meeting at least once a month, kind of give an update. And I think Mark had asked at one point if you could inquire with Mr. Burke to do that. And it just seems like it's not really getting accomplished. So for transparency sake, I would love to have him be here or at least have the updates made available. And in regard to that, the link that was to the South Sangamon Water Commission from the Chatham website, which was great, I asked you to do that, and you did. It's there, but the monthly report on South Sangamon isn't there anymore. They took it down. So it's just a kind of a breakdown of communication again. We were able to see it for a week or two, and then it's gone. So yeah, I would really like to have a better way to communicate, because we're still having issues. I'm getting phone calls. I think Shane and Dustin, they're still getting phone calls on issues regarding the water. So, while I feel like it's going to improve, at this point, I still feel like we have a lot of work to do. And I would really like to implore you to have Mr. Burke update you regularly on what is happening out there. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
Becky Ethel. I did a lot, after I presented all the problems that I saw in that report last Tuesday, did a lot of thinking about things, and I've come to this conclusion. This is my personal feeling. All of you work for all of us in the village of Chatham. Granted, we don't pay you much, but you work for us. You're no different than if a lawyer works for me or a doctor works for me, or no different than me working for my clients. If they have questions and concerns, it's my job to answer that for them. So I guess what I'm getting at is, as your responsibility, you need to get the answers and find the deficiencies that have been going on for so many years out there. I was appalled when I read that sheet that showed all of the deficiencies. So you want to know where to start on your forensic audit? Well, why don't you start, who put the air conditioning in? What was it built for? Why is it freezing up? Why do they have to use space heaters? Who did the electrical? Why wasn't enough outlets put in the office that they don't have to have extension cords? Who is in charge of the containers for the hazardous material? Why are they just sitting out there? Why aren't they in secondary containers? My grandson had a very rare blood disorder, and he got chemotherapy. And my daughter-in-law called me one day crying because OSHA had been at their house, and they had a hazard material bucket in the corner in their living room from the chemotherapy my grandson was getting. It's just appalling to me. Why wasn't this administration, why weren't you told of those deficiencies? Why is the floor in one of the, I think it's the day tank, Why is it leaking from the bottom up? Was there inferior cement put in there? You know, there's just so many unanswered questions out there. And we as citizens of this community are paying outrageous water rates. Our real estate taxes are attached to this. And I get the opinion and I get the feeling that South Sangamon County's attitude is, we don't owe you anything. We don't owe any explanations to you. Well, by God, I'll tell you what, they do to me. Because I'm paying them to do that. They work for me. And whenever I have a question, I expect somebody to be here to answer that question and my concerns. And it's obvious that all of you are in the dark about everything. That you don't know what's going on. And it's aggravating and it's irritating as all get out. And here's an example right there of the water this community has. And it's ridiculous. 3 years into this, we shouldn't have water like that. Nobody should have to have stinky, smelly water in their house.
Okay,
And don't tell me I don't want to hear that. I'm a citizen, I elected all these people and everything here. And I have the right to ask questions and have my concerns answered.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Oh, okay, moving along. I don't have anything to report tonight. Can I have a motion to put the consent agenda on the table for consideration?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second? Any questions or about the warrants or
I had a
changes?
The Mauer Law, what was that for? I didn't recognize them.
What was it?
Mauer Law.
Mauer Law.
That is a garnishment sent to it's payroll garnishment.
A what, payroll?
Payroll garnishment.
Oh, okay, on somebody's, gotcha, thank you. And then the tuition reimbursement for $500 to Lynn Pace, what's that for?
That's she's taking classes that is in accordance with the union contract.
Okay.
Anything further? Okay, Pat, would you take a vote, please? Who was, what?
Is that just a second? Give me a minute.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Kinsey?
Yes.
Yes.
Lindhorst?
Yes.
And Stoneman?
Yes.
Okay, moving along. Let's see. We're not dealing with Oxford tonight, is that correct?
Shane had sent me a message. He said just to keep it on there for old business. I believe we're waiting still to hear back from Mr. Palin in their office on something.
Okay, and then I guess we're ready to do the rubbish ordinance, correct?
Yes.
Everybody? Okay.
Everybody's comfortable with it, yes.
Okay, can I have a motion to put the ordinance on the
Make a
table?
motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? I know, Jeff, you made one final change.
Yeah, we just, the previous ordinance talked about the lien being filed in accordance with the law. The law actually sets forth some very specific provisions on giving written notice that the lien's been filed, those kinds of things. So we actually included that language in the ordinance. And the theory behind that is that way, I've had communities before that will call me up and say, okay, put a lien on this property. We mowed their weeds or whatever. And my first question to them is, have you followed the proper notice? Sent them all the required documents, and then there's dead silence. So hopefully when it's right in there, they'll know they've got to follow those steps. So that was the only change.
Okay, any further discussion or questions? Pat, would you take the vote, please?
Trustee Clayton?
Yes.
Kinsey?
Yes.
Boyle?
Yes.
Lindhorst?
Yes.
Stoneman?
Yes.
Okay, and the purchase agreement with INB. Can I have a motion to put that on the table for
Make a motion.
Sherry, would you explain it?
The lease purchase agreement is for 2 squad cars that were previously approved earlier this calendar year. We went out for a request for proposal to do a capital lease purchase for these 2 vehicles. The lowest bid was INB at 1.48 over a 3-year period. There's amount up to $62,500.
Okay, any questions for Sherry? Hearing none, Pat, would you take the vote, please?
Yes.
Kinsey?
Yes.
Wong?
Yes.
Warhorse?
Yes.
Sauer?
Yes.
Okay, that's it for tonight. The Committee of the Whole will meet at 6 PM on August 18th, and I'll have an update on the police. I've got the Police Commission involved. They're going to be writing a job description, holding a public hearing to get feedback from the community, and then we'll put it out for
I was just gonna say on that, I mean, I was looking, I know Springfield had just gone through the police chief search, and I know that there was a pretty extensive description out on their website, you know, that they may be able to
Yeah.
piggyback and look at, you know, in terms of the details, so.
Yeah, I'll tell them, you know, and I knew Sherry had, Jill had some, you know, the prior jobs description.
Sure,
so
yeah.
We can
Oh,
go
that's
with
right.
that too, so we're moving forward. It won't be done by the next committee meeting, but it should be done by the committee meeting after that, everything, so we can move forward at that point.
And an update on the village administrator search is the position profile has been completed, the ad has been completed. I want to ask for some feedback. I know, Nina, you gave me some feedback on the ad itself. So with that, Jill, I will instruct Jill to start contacting publications so that it can be published in the publications coming up next week or so.
Okay.
And then I know
I'm sorry.
you talked about Mr. Anderson, so we'll get a proposal on the next meeting for him.
Okay,
Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn?
make the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting stands adjourned. Thank you.
No one cares about the problem, but